Welcome to the Bounce the Ball. If you're listening to us on Spotify and on Apple, give us a follow and a 5-star review and share it on your socials. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and like our videos. So today I'm joined by my co-hosts, Rue and Taona. How are you, lads?
Hey, Chappy. Good.
Hey, Chappy, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. So, I think today we're gonna have a bit of a Chelsea talk today.
Yep.
There's a fair few things happening at Stamford Bridge, and yeah, I guess I'll start us off from topic number one for the day. A certain Mr. Raheem Sterling, he's signed for Chelsea Football Club. Big transfer from Manchester City, 45 million plus, I believe, 10 million in additional add-ons as well on top of that. Raheem's signed a 5-year deal, which will actually take him to the grand old age of 33. He's 27, turning 28 this year, that's all. So what are your thoughts, lads? Is this a good deal for Chelsea, or how do you feel about
it? Okay, I'll go first.
Age before beauty.
Look, if it was a Liverpool deal, I wouldn't be keen on this because I think I'm not of the school of thought that when you're 27, 28, you can still have that intensity and pace. I feel like it wanes as time goes on. And Raheem Sterling's been playing since he's 16. So who knows, man? Maybe he's peaked already and now it's just Man City doing some good business. 45 million for a man on his last contract is also a question, but it is Raheem Sterling. So I guess it works out somehow. But honestly, I don't know if Chelsea should have done this, but they did. So who knows? Yeah. Over to you, Root.
All right. I've got my personal feelings on this. Professionally, this guy's got the fourth highest goal contribution rate in the Premier League since 2017, 2018. He's an England international. He's a mature player. There's so many things that speak to this that make you think that there's a lot of potential for this to be a good move. The only
Okay.
issue I have is anyone who ever fit the mold of being a Liverpool type player, like a Raheem Sterling, who likes running with the ball at his feet. I don't feel like that's ever really worked out at Chelsea. I don't know if his style of play is going to match what they're doing. I mean, look at what they've done with every ball player they had, bar Hazard, right? Ziyech, really good ball player, didn't work out. He's on his way out. I don't think Raheem Sterling's age will have any issues. I don't think he's the type of player or has been the type of player that incurs a lot of injuries, but that could change at any point in time. But from a Chelsea perspective, that says a lot to Callum Hudson-Odoi, says a lot to Christian Pulisic, because those are the guys that are going to be directly impacted by the presence of Raheem Sterling in this team, because they're going to be pushed right to the back of the line. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. Definitely an interesting. What do you think, Chappy?
At times I feel I'm a bit conflicted with it. I know you said you wouldn't want him to come to Liverpool, but I guess at the end of the day, when he's been one of your own, it's hard not to want him back in a way. I've got a soft spot for Raheem, in all honesty. That being said, 45 mil, almost 55 mil, it's a lot of money. And at times I just think, is he a big game player or is he a flat track bully at times? I don't know. Over the years, it just felt as if Pep has used him against the lesser lights of the Premier League in Europe. But when the big boys come to town, he seems to bench him. Um, like if memory serves me correct, the one big game that he's absolutely, well, there's a couple big games that he's absolutely killed it. It was in the FA Cup final, um, where he scored a double. And then in addition to that, but the double that he scored is when the match was won. Like they won that game 6-0. In addition to that, it was the game against us. The only time he's performed well against a big team from memory is when he played against Liverpool at Anfield during lockout when there's no crowd and no pressure. I don't know. As I said, I've got a soft spot for Raheem, but I just have a feeling that he's just one of those players who plays extremely well against lesser players.
I definitely see that, and I concur on some of your points. Yeah, but I don't have such a soft spot for him as you have. I just ever since I saw Raheem Sterling playing for us, I knew there was something transitional about him. Like he just didn't um, say, "I want to stay." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it never worked out. But Rue, I absolutely agree with your points of how it's hard for ball carriers to work out at Chelsea. So it'll be pretty interesting what he does next. Yep.
So
Us.
I just looked up a pretty interesting fact. So Man City played Real Madrid twice in the Champions League last year. One game they won, what, 4-1? Well, no, well, one game they won 4-3. The second game they lost 3-1, right? In the second, in the first game where they won 4-3, starting lineup for Chelsea, for Man City: Edison, Stones, Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, Silva, Rodri, Kevin, Riyad Mahrez, Jesus, Foden. There was that interchangeable passing. I don't think Raheem Sterling got a sniff that game. When they were losing, he came off the bench and he also got a yellow card. Pep has stopped trusting Raheem Sterling with responsibilities to do damage. He like I feel like Riyad Mahrez surpassed him. I feel like Grealish surpassed him in terms of Pep trusting him to make a difference. He had a bit part play at Man City, and he's probably on really decent wages over there. So maybe this is an economical issue.
Yeah, 300K. Imagine that.
How
And
much?
there was someone saying like there were rumors coming out that Liverpool were also competing for him. And I was like,
Yes, I heard that.
that's such some hot garbage, bro. There's no way we're
I,
competing for Sterling at 28, 27 years old, and we're going to put him at 300K.
no, no.
Unless
So
he was coming for a pay cut.
what I heard was he was leaving City and was interested in coming back to Liverpool. So it wasn't as such that the one that I heard was
Got it.
that he was interested in coming back to Liverpool. And if you remember his rhetoric during the season, before you'd heard him 2 seasons back talking about how he didn't want, no one wants to see Liverpool win the league, blah blah blah. No one wants to see them, all that negative rhetoric. The next thing you're hearing, I've got a soft spot for Liverpool in my heart. You kind of saw it coming that, okay, he knows that Pep is marginalizing him. He's bringing in other talent. He's changing the shape of his team. And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you want to come back? Nah, no, no.
Nah,
I
you're
wasn't
good.
good. I wasn't good. As much as statistically there's a good player there, it just wasn't going to be fit for purpose with us, I don't think.
Okay. So having a look at him statistically, now that you've actually brought that point up, got this lovely little wheel here. Um, from what you can see, he actually ranks pretty highly in
Hmm.
touches, in players dribble past. Like if you have a look at it, he ranks pretty highly across Europe, um, Europe's top 5 leagues. Yes, the only thing that he averages low in is things like passing when under pressure, but he's getting down to the byline and he's trying to whip the ball in. But everything else, Raheem ranks very highly across the board, across Europe's top five leagues, and this is from the last 365 days. You can't say that there isn't a good player there.
This is true.
Yeah.
Look, there is a good player. Um, yeah, I wanted to jump on the Man City position team wagon, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. There is a good player there. Let's see what he does at Chelsea, and let's see what he can pull up. Yeah,
So just having a quick look at his stats. When you're having a look at the man's record at City, it actually stands out pretty well. You can see the drop off um, from the 2020 year in his goals, but overall he's played 339 games for City and scored 131 games, 131 goals. Sorry. Um, I don't know. As I said, for me, he's always looked as though he misses chances, but I don't know if that's the case. He clearly doesn't. If he's scoring a goal once every, what is it,
2.34.
2 point, yeah, games or something like that. That's a really good record for a winger whose job is to get down to the byline.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
it'll be an interesting combination because I don't know. I guess if we're looking at the greater Chelsea picture, I don't know if all these pieces that they're putting together are going to add up into one strong unit, right? I mean, the area they needed to reinforce in was in defense. You're
Yeah,
hearing Nathan Ike, left-footed centre back. I don't see a problem there. But if you're gonna sell both Azpilicueta and Alonso to Barcelona, you're losing a lot of leadership, and I don't think Nathan Ike is the answer there. Um, they've got a lot of youngsters as usual in the wings, Dejan Sterling and all these sorts of guys that are pretty decent, right? Malang Sa, but they're not, take control of the game decent. Thiago Silva has had some really decent performances for Chelsea, but this is the season that I think he runs into some real big challenges. What is he, like 37, 38 now?
Isn't he
yeah.
like 50?
Yeah,
That man
he's
has been playing forever, man.
look, what is it, 10 years ago, 2012? If you wanted to build a center back from the ground up, you built Thiago Silva. There's no question that this guy is one of the most knowledgeable, well equipped footballers. But he's 37 years old, about to enter his, what, 20th season of first class football, right? James Milner
Yeah,
type stuff. In a team
yeah,
where he's going to be relied upon for more game time, there's going to be some challenges there. What, he's 1 meter 81. You've got two of the biggest clubs in the Premier League buying some really big boys at a center forward, and you've got a guy who is 38, closer to 40, packing in at 80 kilos, 1.81. You know, they need to get some. They need to get Delit. They need to get a Delit type of figure to take center stage at that back four. I don't think that. I think Nathan Ike as a squad player will do something, but you've lost Rudiger. You need to bring somebody in, somebody like who's a big deal. You know?
Okay, I'll take your point on Thiago Silva, but one of the greatest defenders to have ever played the game, Fabio
Definitely.
Cannavaro. That man was what, a meter 76, and he played well into his late 30s as well, and he did extremely well. He never got beat in the air. It's all about timing and everything else. And I
He
guess it also
didn't
comes
do that
down
in the
to
Premier League. There's a reason why Fabio Cannavaro and Carlos Puyol and any other diminutive centre back you have never came to the Premier League. That I'd say in the Spanish league, in the Italian league, it's a lot more about skill and movement of the ball, right? They're probably not as physical as you're going to get in the Premier League in terms of having a what's Chris Ashton or whatever, all these physical boys from your Stokes, your Burnleys, and now Newcastle and all that sort of stuff. As a centre back, the requirements of a centre back in the Premier League are very different. Athleticism plays a big part. I don't
It
think he
does, but at
had
the
that
same time,
pressure in Spain.
we're talking about a man who was leading Juventus through to Champions League titles, and like he was still playing at the top of the game and representing Italy internationally as well, coming up against your bruises, coming up against all these other guys as well. There's a reason
There's
why. I think he's the only defender to have ever won the Ballon d'Or as well, is he not?
not the only defender, but he's one. He's the most recent in recent times. Outside of him, I don't think anyone's gotten in there. But you have to ask yourself the question. He played next to Materazzi. He was a bit physical. He was really good with the ball on the ground. But they gave Luka Modric a Ballon d'Or for being in a team that got close and being in the Champions League winning side that year. Doesn't make him the best player in the world. The reason why they didn't give it to Zidane is because he got a red card in the final. Cannavaro was not the best player in the world that year, but he led a team to winning the World Cup. That's what he got the title for. He
But
was
what makes you the
decent.
best player? Wait. That's an argument that I find quite annoying. There's no reason
All right.
why attacking players are the ones who win the best player in the world. Just because you're
I'm
banging the goals doesn't mean you're the best player in the world, does it? There's
I'm
different
not
positions,
Absolutely.
arguing.
different.
There's no question, and I was right up there, ready for Van Dijk to get the Ballon d'Or that year, right?
Yeah, me
But
too. Me too.
my honest to God opinion, I never felt like Cannavaro was the best player in his position at that World Cup. I don't feel like he was the best player of the year there. I feel like he got the title because he captained a team that won the World Cup. Period. Not because he was the best. Was he one of the best centre backs of his time, of his era? He was in the conversation. I just don't think he was better. I thought Nesta was better. I thought Yab Stam was better. I thought them boys were your prototypical centre back.
I think Rue's getting a call.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but it's an interesting conversation. I guess we'll need to have that when he comes back. I'm just a firm believer that uh, just attacking players are the ones who get all the plaudits, and they're the ones who are put up on the pedestal because they're the headline makers. You score a goal, you make the headlines. As
Yeah,
defenders and
absolutely.
goalkeepers and everything else, there's no reason why you can't be the best player in the world if people look at you and they judge you as that. I think Cannavaro was. It was shocking to see a defender in 2006 win it. Yes, but why not?
Yeah, that it
Um,
should happen more, man. It should definitely
I
happen
think it
more.
should. I think it should. I think
Yeah,
they're just a little. As I said, it's easier to give it to an attacking player, someone who wins you
absolutely.
games per se, but who's just defenders win you games too. We've seen Virgil van Dijk, we've seen John Terry, we've seen Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, and all these guys win games by locking out the opposition, and you get a dirty 1-0 win, and yeah, you scrape it through. Um, I guess kind of feels like I just want to wait for Rue a little bit. I'm pretty certain we can
Okay,
edit most
cool.
of this out where he's not there anyway.
Okay,
Mans is
cool.
back.
I'm just gonna.
Can
Okay, all right, go.
sorry, can
What
you?
were you gonna say, bro?
Yes. The disadvantages of using your mobile phone, your old man can call you at any time.
Put it on Do Not Disturb, fam. So speaking about Chelsea transfers, um, Fabrizio Romano tweeted the other day. Tweeted my Jesus. Fabrizio Romano tweeted the other day that Ake is actually clean on the move to Chelsea, and that he's actually agreed personal terms. Um, I know, Rue, that you were saying that you don't believe that Ake is the answer to Chelsea's issues in their back line, and they need to look elsewhere. Um, I find it very hard to disagree with that. He's 27 years old. He's coming into his prime years as a defender. And over the last couple seasons, he's only managed to play about 24 games, I think it is, for Man City. I just don't see where he's got that experience and game time over the last couple of years. My most of my memories of Nathan are actually from when he was at Bournemouth, and that was like 2-3 years ago now. And it's a big step up from going from Bournemouth to a big top four side and being the man in your position there.
I'm gonna give a slightly different perspective. I still stand by my argument. I don't think he's gonna command a starting spot. I think he's more a squad player. I think he's a guy you bring in to add numbers, to add bodies. I don't think he's the starting guy. But let's at least forget Chelsea academy player, came through in the ranks, played for Chelsea before going to Bournemouth, was out on loan twice. There's the bones in that player to have somebody who's going to contribute very well to this team. But command a starting spot, he will not. And I
Wait,
think Chelsea need to look for somebody who commands a starting spot.
so are you saying if Nathan Aki is coming in as a squad player, who's gonna be the starter?
That I don't think they have a starter. I don't think Thiago Silva can be a starter. I don't think Nathan Chaloba can be a starter. I don't think Dejan Sterling can be a starter. I don't think Nathan Ike can be a consistent starter. If you bring him and De Ligt, yeah, you got that Dutch combination, right? You got a bit of chemistry there. But then Nathan Ike, I don't know if he can elevate himself to the position that he will, be the guy. Maybe
So
he
you
can do
rec-
it, but by himself, nah. He needs to play alongside a more established, more commanding centre back.
So you reckon there's gonna be a lot of what's the word? Rafa Benitez used to like to do this, like a lot of
Teething issues.
changing. No, like a lot of changing of players. Like each game, you're not gonna get like consistent back four.
I do think you're not gonna get a consistent back four. I do think he's gonna play between a back three and a back four. I think the
Okay.
players he's brought in could probably complement that, but he's still missing one key centre back. And if Bayern Munich pips him to De Ligt, then I don't see anyone else out there. I don't see Kaledio Koulibaly leaving Napoli or passing up Napoli to go to Juve. Uh, you know, that's also a bit of a complicated mess there. So I don't know. It's a tricky one for Chelsea. I don't know. I feel like their owners, he's moving in a direction where he wants to buy players to make a splash like a Raheem Sterling, but they didn't need Raheem Sterling. They needed
Yeah,
to flash
makes
the
sense.
cash and De Ligt. If they've gone and spent 47 million on Sterling, are they going to go and pay right? Are they going to spend another 70 something on De Ligt and then go and try and get a striker? Nah, spending the money in the wrong places.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation at Chelsea, and look, personally, I am a bit worried that not really worried because I'm an opposition fan, but like um, the fact that they got rid of Rudiger and they're losing most of their defense is very worrisome. But and from what I'm hearing is that Todd Bowie is buying players with Tuchel in his ear. So, with all that information, I'm thinking in my mind that Tuchel is not panicking about defense because him being a defensive coach, he probably has one up his sleeve, right? And now he's thinking, let's focus on uh, the attacking and midfield options. But personally, I think he's making a grandeur mistake. Like I don't think you replace Rudiger that easily, even if you're a mastermind defensive tactician. I really think something is off there at Chelsea, and I hope. Okay, I don't hope, but I would love to see the miss. I would love to see the plane crash on that. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if Sterling is really something that will help the team. But yeah, for me, Chelsea, you're looking at 5-6, 5-6.
Okay. So we're saying they need to sign a striker. He literally played without a recognized centre forward last year and wanted that interchanging of positions. So Raheem's going to come in from a system where he's used to players moving in front of him and having that interchanging. I guess the thought process here is that Sterling has been more prolific. I can't believe I actually said that, but Sterling has been more prolific than Timo Werner. Um, so is that not an upgrade in that sense? So now you now have Timo Werner coming in. Kai Havertz can now go back into his more attacking midfield role instead of playing centre forward. So there may be logic to it. He's got the pace of Sterling, which is, I think he's maybe not as quick as Timo Werner, but he's extremely quick. So I think that's the thought process there. Instead of having a recognized striker per se, have the players in there who are able to interchange positions. That's how I'm seeing it. In regards to
It
Nathan Ake. Sorry, what were you going to
it
say?
No, no, it makes absolute sense what you're saying. It just shows that Tuchel is trying to implement the Liverpool model where we're very fluid. But
Mm.
with fluidity, you have to have players that know each other very well. And from what I'm seeing, this transfer window is just a mess because, like, preseason has started, and none of the players that they need
Signed,
training
yeah.
for preseason exactly. So it's like, what's going on? But hey,
Yeah.
uh, we love the mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So the only point I was going to bring up about Nathan Ake is the fact that he's left footed. He plays and he can play left back as well. So Nathan Ake can play on the left hand side, and that's the same side that Marcus Alonso, who's rumored to be leaving. Um, yes, he's not that attacking left back or anything like that, but he can fill into that left slot, provide some solidity there as well. So there might be some gymnastics that might get played there every now and then. And if you can get Deleto Kounde in and have Nathan Ake, who's a bit of an athlete as well, I think that mitigates the loss of Rudiger's athleticism from that back line.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
All right, look, for the purposes of progress, we can keep looking, but it's just the options there, right? They've got Nathan Ampadu, right? And he can play left-sided. He's already signed. He's already their player. He was on loan. He can play as a left back. He can play left-sided. He's defensive. He's good with the ball as well. He is a squad player. They've got options. They've got Baba Rahman. They've got Ben Chilwell. They've got Emerson, who's coming back from loan. They don't have a problem at left back. They've got a problem at centre back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Got it.
unless they do the dumbest thing they could do right now, and that's letting Sergio Aspilicueta go to Barcelona and saying we're doubling down on Reece James. Then I think they're really in trouble. Reece James is
I
good.
Hey,
He-
I think
well, yeah.
Aspilicueta is going to Barcelona. That's definitely happening, without a
you
doubt.
think they'll let three defenders
Yeah,
go to Barcelona in one
absolutely,
window?
absolutely.
If they do that, that's a poor move.
That's
It's
actually
an
And
a pretty
Barca
good
can't
interesting
afford
segue.
him.
mess.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yep.
absolutely.
Chaps.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a mess, but I was going to say that's a pretty good segue when it comes to letting go of players. According to the Daily Star Sport, um, there's rumor of certain Mr. N'Golo Kante moving from Chelsea to Arsenal in this window as well.
So
Personally, you go.
no, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, personally, I believe this is one of the worst ideas that I've seen come up, and if it's true, it's not good for Chelsea. This one.
So I was on AFC TV, and I was watching one of their transfer league shows where they were saying there's this mystery player that the inner even Romano didn't speak about it, but he said that there's a player that Arsenal are trying to get, and that mystery player might show Arsenal's ambitions. So when I saw this, when you posted this, I was like, oh, is this the guy that is making Arsenal look like they're going to show ambition? Look, Kante 2 years ago is fire. I don't know about last season what happened, because there was a lot that was going on with Kante and his form. So look, a season ago, this move would have been perfect for Arsenal. Uh, you get some good cover in that midfield. But now I don't know. Is It feels like it might be Chelsea just getting rid of a player that they feel like is not giving everything anymore. So yeah, it's an interesting signing if it happens.
N'Golo
Over to you,
Kante
Rue.
leaving Chelsea to go play for Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. I can't see it, folks. I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I've got no
Can't
comment
say.
on it because I can't see it. Could it happen? Yes. Can I see it happen? I can't see it.
Okay.
But
So
what do you think? What do you think he'll suit the Chelsea play? Sorry, the Arsenal team, or
I think N'Golo Kante is one of the few players in the world that anywhere he goes, he's
he
just
slots
a
in?
productive fellow. Like Claude Makelele before him, there's certain underrated midfielders that just get the hard yards, the hard yakka gets done, right? The issue you have there potentially on the health side of things is there's the heart issue. Um, there's the potential fitness concerns with injuries in the last couple of seasons. Um, from a personality standpoint, you'll never have a problem with him. This is one of
Yeah,
the hardest working guys. He does not know how to stop running. The most
absolutely.
mhm.
likable guys in the world. Everybody loves this guy.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
ah,
It
I
might be
can't. I
time.
can't.
It might
But
be time, Rue. It might be time.
if
Look,
it's if it's time you sell him to PSG and you're gonna make a cool 40, 50 bill, not Arsenal, who spend 40 mil on every second player they've bought. Nah, they've got a budget as well. I don't see this.
okay.
The,
So
the idea
for,
disturbs me.
the way I look at it is Ngolo's had a he picked up a few injuries last season, which is what
Yep.
affected his form. Ngolo over the last 4 or 5 years has been one of the better defensive midfielders. He would walk into that Arsenal team and he would actually improve them tenfold. There's no one in that Arsenal team who can shine his boots, in all honesty. Granit Xhaka, all these guys are not at his level. He's an athlete, and the man can pass the ball. And from when Frank Lampard decided to play him higher up the pitch, he can actually score goals as well.
Mm.
He's an athlete. He's a great player. As I said, the man is 31 years old, and he's got 12 months left on his contract. So, is this them now looking to push him on just to get a fee for him and help shepherd in the new generation? And as we all know, Chelsea's just been taken over by a new owner, so we don't know how he's going to operate. We don't know what his plans are for the club. All things being equal, Chelsea actually do have an extremely good player in the center, in their midfield as it is. Um, I'm not sure if I shared this with you before, but Kovacic, he's ranking extremely high. in the 90th percentile across the board for midfielders across Europe at the moment. Yeah, so it's one of those things. He progresses the ball. He's got a good engine on him. So is it a case of looking at it thinking, okay, we have Kovacic there. Do we really need to have N'Golo Kante in the team at the moment as well? It's one of those things. I'm just not sure. It's interesting. Kovacic is one of those guys for me who plays well. He's aggressive. And as I said, the man can pass the ball. Defensively, he's sound. He's a bigger body than Golo Kante. So maybe that's their thought process. They have a player already there, ready-made, who can help fill that void, which he's done this season anyway, while Kante's been injured. I'm just interested to know what your thoughts are on Kovacic.
Look, shooting off the hip. From what I've heard from Chelsea fans, yeah, they don't actually mind it, but they do highly regard Golo Kante. But you can't fault um, the team for wanting to sell Golo Kante and then uh, using Kovacic to go forward. So yeah, it's an interesting take, but Golo Kante is such a figure that you wouldn't be it wouldn't be a bad take to say that I don't want the dude to move. You know what I mean? But if the money is right, he's only got 1 year on his left on his contract, then it is what it is.
Yep. But I guess I was just trying to play devil's advocate and find a way as a reason as to why they're thinking that.
It's different. Mateo Kovacic, N'Golo Kante. I feel like the only direct replacement you have for N'Golo Kante at Chelsea is Billy Gilmore. I think Mateo Kovacic is more of an attacking player, very different type of player, very good on the ball. This guy's been like a protege of Modric for how long, right? This guy is talented. I think his direct competition is actually going to be, who's that fella that played for Crystal Palace? Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher for me is the guy that's going to come and give Mateo Kovacic competition. So they might look to move Kovacic to play the N'Golo Kante role potentially. Jorginho's still there. There's potential now that Jorginho's looking to sign a contract extension because Juve have just signed Pogba, and there's no sign that they're going to be able to provide that financial backing to sign a Jorginho from Chelsea. So they might play a little bit differently. Jorginho is what, 28, 29? So yeah, I guess it's possible. I just think that if I was Chelsea, I would be selling N'Golo Kante to PSG, who've always been interested and who are going to pay more for N'Golo Kante than you would get from Arsenal.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. So I've come across a few tweets, and I think Rue actually sent this one to me today, where Chelsea are still being linked to everyone under the sun. So I'll bring it up quickly. So this is the possible Chelsea 11 for next season. Hey, there's some quality players there. There's talk of them looking at Ronaldo. Rafinha still linked. De Jong, Delit, Kunde. Yeah, it'd be a great team if they can actually pull that off. It's interesting that that's still how things are looking over at Chelsea at the moment.
I've just
Yeah,
seen an article where Barcelona has matched Chelsea's bid for Rafinha to Leeds, and Rafinha's given Barcelona 48 hours to make this deal happen because he wants to, get on with his life. He's ready to go. 60 million. I don't understand how Barcelona thinks they can keep doing this. They can't register the players they have, and then they're gonna bid 60 million for a guy, yet they're trying to make 150 million, 200 million to pay down debt. I don't know. Find it interesting. Find it interesting that anyone would be associated with a club that could potentially not be there in 2 years. It's gonna be interesting.
That is very
Yeah.
fair. Speaking about, as you said, I didn't actually realize that Rafinha had given him 48 hours. It takes them a fair bit of time to be able to register players at the moment. So it's interesting. The last I heard that Rafinha hadn't gone on tour. Is that the case? That he stayed behind and
Yep,
didn't travel?
just like Cristiano.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just going to be, apparently, he's going to be training at the Leeds training ground alone while the team is in Australia. So it's going to be, it's, it just says that Rafinha is out the door either way. If it means that Barcelona doesn't come through, then he's definitely going to be a Chelsea player. Just circling back to that tweet that you showed of the Chelsea players that you had there. Look, on paper, it looks like a team that will be pretty striking, but they technically will have never played together. So unless this team is being tipped by Todd to say, "Hey guys, this season, no, there's no goals. All you guys got to do is just to learn each other, do the best you can, and then next season we need to win the league, or we need to um, get somewhere in the Champions League." If that's the idea, then yeah. But that team, as it looks and as it stands, it needs some gelling there. I see a lot of players that might not be easily. Uh, it might not be easy for them to gel together. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, Rue, you've had that discussion with me a few times. In fact, both of you lads actually have about continuity and
Yeah,
chemistry. It's a big thing. It'd probably take these guys half a season to really gel properly. And what do you do then? All of a sudden, it's Christmas and you're sitting 10th in the league or whatever you may be at the time. It'll be pretty hard. It'll be pretty damn hard. Um, it's an interesting take, that. It's a very interesting take, and one that I actually agree with.
I think that image, the moment I saw that thing and all those pieces, if Chelsea goes in for Cristiano Ronaldo, they're telling me they don't care about their team. As a player, the guy is brilliant. But if you're gonna play Cristiano Ronaldo, you need to put a team together that's built around him. And that's just not how Chelsea has ever operated. To think you can change that in one window is, for lack of a better term, foolish. You can't change that type of thing in one window.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking about Chelsea, I've just I came across an interesting tweet from the lads at Straight Outta Cobham, which is he's just a Chelsea fan. I just want to get your reaction to this one, lads.
Another day, same Royals, same Chelsea, same fake actions. Uh, yeah, nah, I think that's the genuine sentiment, the general sentiment around Chelsea fans. They're probably not too happy with this fella.
I actually found this tweet to be I laughed when I seen it the first time
Mm,
because it's exactly what we spoke about not
mm.
too long ago. Come to think about it, when we actually had the chat about what's going on at Chelsea. Um, yeah, so I find it quite interesting that even the Chelsea fans are starting to see it for themselves. Um, But hey, we'll wait and see. It's still early on. The season doesn't start for another month or so, so there's time there for them.
One thing we've got about this Chelsea team is they've got a lot of young youth players. And the challenge you're gonna get with them having so much talent in the youth rankings is that they're ready, like they need to start pulling the trigger on some of these young kids.
Mm.
And I I don't feel like I don't feel like your best bet is overloading the system with a lot of purchases because you got to balance it somehow, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So,
Yeah, let me chip in on this. Like, uh, look, they've just signed Sterling, so could they be actually doing something? I don't know if I totally agree with this fan. Yeah, hijacking is not the best. I mean, it just shows that you don't have a plan, but a fake action, that's where I say maybe not. Because I think Chelsea are genuinely in for these players. It's just they're hijacking from other teams, but I definitely think they're genuinely in for these players.
do you think it's actually hijacking by other teams, or is it that Todd is actually enjoying the anonymity of it all and traveling on Europe? And there was those videos of him walking into that cafe in Barcelona, and he turns around and says, "Oh, I'm just here to have lunch." I I kind of think he's enjoying it. He's enjoying being in the limelight. He's enjoying how intense it all is and being front and center of all the action. Like, come on, I would enjoy it myself. Imagine you just spend £4 billion on a team and you get to travel the world and everyone's like just all that action. I would find it exhilarating.
Absolutely, he is enjoying it. But when when the rooster comes, what's the saying? When the rooster comes to roost, it's going to be pretty bad because right now I can see some Chelsea fans getting agitated by the fact that like there's a lot of rumors of them being linked to so many players. Preseason has already started. No one, only Sterling is in over the line, and now
It hasn't been
what's
confirmed yet.
He's having
uh,
his medical now,
yeah.
I'm
like
just saying
right
it
now.
So
hasn't been confirmed yet. There's still time for someone to swoop in.
Nah, not
The
while he's
FA ain't
having
got that
his
paperwork, man. The FA haven't got that paperwork yet.
not while he's having his medical. Is there a history of a player being nabbed as they're having their medical?
uh,
Spurs at Spurs.
No, they
Who was
hijacked
it?
him from the airport, not from the medical.
wow.
Okay, no, fair enough. But
Yeah. I don't know if it was Roman Pavlyuchenko or someone.
I
They
don't
catch
remember.
you.
But
Yeah, they've hijacked somebody at the airport and pinged him
Wow.
there. Smart, brilliant.
That's
But
amazing.
plenty of transfers were people who are hijacked. Alfredo Di Stefano was hijacked from Barcelona by Real Madrid. Then they had this agreement that he was going to play for Madrid first for a few seasons and then go and play for Barcelona. And then it never happened on the Barcelona side and ends up being one of Real Madrid's biggest legends. And now the second top goal scorer after Cristiano Ronaldo, I believe.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
totally insane. Yeah, but I definitely see Sterling going over the line. It's definitely happening. Yeah,
Well, look at it this way: Chelsea's handing Man City $100 million.
they are
So
actually.
pretty much, these guys have bought Haaland. They're gonna get $100 million and go, where do we want to reinforce where we've just gotten rid of some of this potential dead wood?
Mm, that's true. That's true. But I like that City. it's nice to see that City is doing some balancing of the books. Like they're selling players they bought already, and the numbers look like they're adding up. And I also like seeing that it's going to be a team that still needs chemistry this season. So I'll be really shocked if we don't take it this season, man. It's so on the plate for us right now.
So Man City won Cucurella. What is it? Cucurella? How do you pronounce that? Cucurella?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not gonna
Something like
embarrass
that.
myself.
So they won the Spanish Brighton left back. He's
Okay.
like every time he's played against us, he's given solid difficulties, but then he's also pretty decent at distribution. So that's somebody who's going to be able to cross the ball for Haaland on top of his
Yeah.
Cancelo or whoever they have.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Kyle Walker's on the right. Who's back up to Kyle Walker?
It's him and Cancelo on the right, isn't it?
And then who's
That's
on
why
the
they ended
left?
up. Um, Zinchenko, whatever his name is.
But I
The
thought they were
Ukrainian
bringing
lad.
this Cucurella fella to replace Zinchenko and then have the other guy.
But Cancelo has played on the left. They had Benjamin, they had Mendy, who's
Who's
no longer
in,
employed.
who's in the Stockies?
Yes, he's on a state-sponsored holiday at the moment, I believe we'd call it.
He's in the. Okay, so Cancelo's a right back, Kyle Walker's a right back, Mendy was a left back, Zinchenko is a left back. So they'll keep Zinchenko, they'll bring in Cucurella, and then Cucurella,
Yeah.
Zinchenko are your left backs, and then right backs is Cancelo and Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
All right, I see that.
I would still play Cancelo as a left back. He was probably the best left back in the league last year. His distribution, his playmaking from that side was next level. Why would you take him from that side? I wouldn't.
'Cause he's not a natural
Uh,
left footer.
yeah, exactly. He's not a natural left footer. I think that's the reason why they want to put him back to the right. Yeah, I think
Not having
I
a natural left
disagree.
footer when defending, you'll get rolled. By the right guy,
Yeah,
you'll get rolled.
yeah.
But the
And
point is, no one rolled him last year.
I was last year, baby. Like, this next year could be something different. I mean, you can't like if you remember the year we beat Real Madrid playing with Rafa Benitez, he switched the fullbacks. We beat Real Madrid, but we beat Barcelona in the league as well. I mean, in the Champions League, we beat Madrid and Barcelona. And what Rafa Benitez did is he switched the fullbacks. The right back fullback went to left back, and the left back fullback went to right back because of the whole Messi and Ronaldinho like to cut back in. So they're playing on the side of the field where it was their wrong foot. You know how Messi likes
smart.
cutting back in on his left and
That's smart.
Ronaldinho. So you can do that for a couple of games, but in the season you need your natural guys, and Cucurella
Players.
can
Yeah.
switch over onto the right side as well. So yeah, maybe Pep Guardiola is trying to sort out his tinkering problem by actually getting guys who can fit into those roles.
Are we going to ignore the fact that one of the best left backs ever to play the game, Mr. Philip Lahm, was right-footed?
Nah,
You
we
don't
won't. We
need
won't
to be
ignore that.
left-footed. We don't
But
need
they,
to be left-footed to
But
play on the
but
left.
wait, but wait. I have to cut in on this one. I think you can only use history to a certain extent because I've been thinking about this quite a lot. That like football has evolved to a point where most of the players, like your average player, is so much better. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
the technicality that like these soccer schools are putting into these average players is so much of a higher grade than uh, 5 seasons ago. That's why I hear what you're saying with these players, but I would argue also that like now people are more technical and their ability to do things is is so much higher. Like when I watch these highlight reels of old games and I see the keepers getting beat by such like like such simple plays, but like now today half of the Premier League keepers are saving that. So that's why I would say, yeah, it would make sense that a historic figure played with the wrong footing, but can he
He
get away
played.
with it this season now? Probably not.
So I remember when they switched him in transfer market. His position is right back. But I remember when they switched him from right back to left back, and he played defensive midfielder. They've played that guy, or they played him in all these different spots because he was just an all-rounder. For me, it's very similar to that David Alaba. Like, you've just got a guy who can do it all. Like, there's no question that Philip Lahm could do it all. But do you really want a jack of all trades, or do you want a specialist? Because why would you take a guy who is a top left back and say, okay, well, we've bought another left back. We're going to put you at right back. Well, you've got a right back already. Like, they've got all these pieces, best players in the world, in one of the best leagues in the world. I say play dudes on the favorite foot.
Okay, so conversely, is Kyle Walker one of their better, more senior defenders? Would you drop Kyle Walker for Zinchenko, whatever his name is at the moment,
As in, go
or
play Kyle
Man
Walker at
City?
left back.
No, a right back. So I would. The
Zinchenko's
reason
left
I'm
back.
arguing, the reason I'm arguing about playing Cancelo on the left is that Man City were actually very secure and solid when Cancelo was on the left. You
Yeah.
had their centre backs and you had Kyle Walker. The fact that he's able to play there and was cutting in, like coming infield and actually spraying the ball and playing really well. And he was like having Kevin De Bruyne on the opposite side of the field again. It was highly effective. That's the only reason why I would potentially look at playing them like that and then potentially resting Kyle Walker and playing one of the younger left backs when and switching Cancelo over to the right and interchanging them like that.
It's, I mean, it makes sense, right? There's definitely room for it, but would you need to if you have solid people in that role already? I don't think they're gonna spend 40 million that they're gonna pay Brighton to bring a guy in so you can bench for another guy using the wrong foot.
Hey, we're talking about spending 40 million on Nathan Ake and having him on the bench.
Because they don't have any other options. Chelsea's issue is they've got two first team centre backs. Two. That's it. That's all they got. They got Thiago Silva and Chaloba. And the only reason Chaloba is in the conversation is because they had to give the boy a chance over the last season and a bit, right? They got two. So you're bringing in Nathan Ake, you're spending 40 million because you need four.
I think we lost you, Rue.
I was just trying to
It's
be
tricky.
difficult with that Ake comment.
No, but it's you're right in the sense that how many players in football have been converted the way Henri was played by Juve and then what they went and did with him at Arsenal. Players have been moved from positions and they end up being a star elsewhere and you just don't see it coming. So it's possible. I just feel like he's bringing that fella in with a plan because that guy was solid at left back. He was solid for Brighton at left back.
Very true, very true. So now I think we need to move on to our love piece. Taona, you sent me an interesting leaked kit today.
Yep.
Not sure if I'm much of a fan
You're on
personally.
board.
It's I don't know. To me, it kind of looks like a 3-year-old given crayons in Wintertown on a piece of
Oh
paper.
no. Oh no, Chappy, no. I really dig it. I like it. I think it's creative. Personally, it would be nice to see what it actually looks like if the detail and the fabric is in sync with that color wave thing going on. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. Hopefully the announcement comes soon on maybe we wear it on the Man City game, uh, Charity Shield. So who knows? Hopefully it comes out soon.
I don't like it. I don't
Ah,
like it.
no!
I,
Come
I,
on, Rue, come on.
I feel like Nike have missed the bar on a lot of our kits than actually hit the mark.
Okay. What's your
I feel
favorite
like,
historic kit?
to be honest, it was I really liked the Reebok white. You
Ooh, yeah,
remember
the
the one
cream
Gunda
one,
had?
right?
Yeah, the cream one. So when
Yeah,
these
that's
guys replicated that last season, I was like, I could
yeah.
go for that. Um,
Okay, okay, okay,
there's
okay.
jerseys in the
But
past for Liverpool I've hated, like that purple mess. Oh my God, I hated that purple
the
mess.
Warrior one,
Ah, I hated that thing. I
Which
hated
warrior
our
one? Is it the home kit, the red one?
no the
Or
now the
purple, the purple
purple,
away.
oh, the purple. Got it,
the
got it, got it,
Suarez
got
one, the one that Suarez was banging goals in.
it. I
That's the only
didn't
good thing
mind
about
him.
it
I
I
didn't
hated it.
mind it
because
actually.
Suarez was scoring goals in it. That's why.
I
Look, to
absolutely
me,
didn't
it
like
just
it.
reminds me of old school geography when we were learning topography.
Oh no, Chappy, no, bro, come on.
uh, Another one I didn't like is that grey Liverpool one. I didn't like that. Even though we destroyed United at Old Trafford in that kit, I didn't like it.
It always
Damn,
looks good in the replays.
you
It
guys are
looks.
really a tough crowd. You're such a tough crowd.
So, Liverpool Football Club we've just left for our tour of Thailand, and I believe the lads have just landed as well, and absolutely just loving it and taking in all the love and adulation of the fans over in Thailand. Taona, you were mentioning something about the traveling team and the game that's on Wednesday or Tuesday, I think you were saying.
Yeah, on my side it's on a Tuesday. I'm not sure on your side. So we're playing Manchester United, and the guys that traveled, it looks like a really good team. I'm super excited for Fabio Carvalho. I'm super excited for Nunes to actually see what they do, but I doubt Klopp will give Nunes some time because he just arrived in the training field now. Because I know for the past couple of days, I hadn't seen any pictures of him on the training pitch. The with the videos that Liverpool was showing, so it'll be pretty interesting to see what the team will set up like if he actually does put in Carvalho. Man, this kid, I'm pure sauce, bro. A baller, baller. So yeah, I'm excited to see this game on Tuesday. Even though obviously it won't be um, like a first team competitive game, but whatever they're going to show us will give us an idea of how most of these new team players have will set up. I know also that Ramsey didn't travel because he has a little injury, so we won't be
He's
seeing
19
him.
years old. You don't get injured when you're
Yeah.
19. Come on, let's be honest.
So what do you think? What do you think it is?
Oh, he's just soft.
COVID. Nah, he's
COVID?
Scottish. You can't put soft and Scottish in the
So
same sentence.
exactly, exactly,
It
exactly.
has to be COVID. It has to be COVID, man. Like I did no, I
Oh, you
he does have
reckon?
a little injury. Nah, I'm just goofing. He does have a little injury. I did hear that, and
Yeah,
like I think they're just protecting him. Season hasn't
yeah.
started. No need
No
to
need
pile
to
it on.
push them.
He's gonna
Yeah,
get yeah he's gonna get eased into it.
yeah. No, the squad is looking good, man. Jota over there. Oh man,
I
it's
wouldn't even
exciting.
play.
Tuesday can't come anytime. It can't come sooner, man.
I wouldn't even start. Like I think I'd play Nunes second half of that Man United game. I wouldn't give him much game time. I'd play two teams, one first half, one second half. I'd play a lot of kids. plenty of kids. Plenty of kids.
So he usually does that for preseason. Yeah, he always plays first half, second half, and usually what happens is that they have heavy training before the game so that he can see how they handle pressure after like heavy legs. So obviously they will play the kids. Actually, it'll be a mixture. It'll be first half kids and adults, second half kids and adults. So yeah, personally, I just want to see how Nunez is positioned. I want to see how because I know that whoever plays first half or second half, it's going to be the same strategy and formula. So it'll be nice to see what exactly we're going to do with Nunez in the team.
I think we're
I
just going to do a lot of running in preseason. Like even the Charity Shield, I don't think we're going to be taking it too seriously because I believe you've got a match right the day after the Charity Shield or something like that. I think we're just going to
Yes.
use as much time as we can to build up our fitness.
yeah.
And our results
I
in
don't.
preseason aren't usually great anyway.
They're pretty
Um,
bang average. Yeah.
oh, that's an understatement. It's always been one of those things that our results in preseason are just awful, really. But yeah, I'm excited as well, as in all honesty. I can't lie. Watching Darwin run around, it's going to be great. Um,
So
I
here are the.
disagree. I disagree about that charity shield, man. I want that thing, man. I absolutely
Here's
want that thing. I want every
here's
silverware that we get.
here's
well,
the
we've already
list
won
of
the
our.
Masters Cup, haven't
True.
Here's the list of games, right? So Man United on the 12th, Crystal Palace on the 15th,
we?
RB Leipzig on the 21st, Salzburg on the 27th, Community Shield on the 30th, Strasbourg on the 31st, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, and then Premier League starts on the 6th. I think it's fitness all the way. It is fitness every day. You're not really gonna see the tactical side of things at all. Maybe the Community Shield. I don't think he's gonna put a weak team on the Community Shield. I think the second team guys will get the Strasbourg game, but Community Shield, I'm pretty confident he's gonna go with what would be your Darwin Nunez gunning, Mo Salah, maybe Diaz on the left. If Mo Salah is with the team now, I'm not sure. I didn't see him. He's probably there. Um,
Yeah, I saw him in one of the tweets today getting off the bus.
yeah, I think you'll see a lot of guys who would start, but I think you'll see people rested. I don't know if you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see Coleman Kelleher goals instead of Allison in that Community Shield potentially. Um, and yeah, I think you'll see a bit of rotation. I probably want to see the Greek freak at left back instead of Robbo. Give Robbo some rest. Premier League starting the week after, so yeah, I want to see a bit of rotation.
And with that, I think we'll call it a wrap for the day. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
And
you.
if thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, and remember to follow us and give us a 5-star review if you listen to us on Apple or Spotify. And please share on your socials and get the word out. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and like our videos.
Peace.